There's students who might be at home now trying to do virtual learning, if that's a possibility, or special needs. What if they don't have internet connectivity? What about the 2 meals that are provided? What if they don't have a car to go pick up those 2 meals, even if that's how the school's doing it, and they rely on the school bus system? So you think about all the different things people rely on and that we pay for our tax dollars so that people have, including those that are in the toughest neighborhoods, those who are in the toughest economic situation. Who's going to take care of these children at home when they have 2 working parents or a single parent that has to work?
How is the school district going to accommodate parents and the children, particularly to help the children, under a changing medical situation with the coronavirus? And I think we have to be thinking out of the box.
I think one of the things that we have to be creative about is talking to Washington, D.C. about how to spend the $68 billion that comes from the federal government down to states and local school districts to implement these decisions. Right now, Jay, those come with all sorts of federal strings that really should be irrelevant during this pandemic. We need to find ways for those dollars, those $68 billion, to be repurposed in a fashion that gives parents more choice for their children, so that come the start of the school season, Jay, no matter what that looks like, the children actually get an education.
School districts need to be taking care and making adequate, because they get taxpayer, they're funded both by the federal government, and the state government, the local government. They need to be taking care of you and making sure your child stays on track. If you believe you need assistance and you already know you're in that kind of situation, we want you to go to aclj.org/help. That's aclj.org/help. It's just a quick online form you fill out. Then you'll be contacted by an ACLJ attorney. Remember, none of this costs you anything. And if we do move forward in representing you, whether it's for a school board or any other way, that does not cost you. These services are provided for free. That's how we're able to do this at the ACLJ, because of our donors, because of those of you who financially support the work of the ACLJ.
It's a reallocation of resources. For instance, if a school does have a tuition credit or a voucher program, if a particular state does, and we know the schools are not going to be able to go back as they were, can you then redirect that voucher so the parents can do direct aid, get internet connectivity, or does the school district provide the computer, or are the meals delivered by the buses that would normally be picking up the students? I mean, there's a lot of creativity that can go into this. We're in a very unusual time in our country, and this is how we meet the needs of our brothers and sisters.
These are political decisions that elected officials have to make in the best interest of the students. And we have got to convince them through negotiation, through reason, through rational analysis and talk, that they've got to do the best thing for the students, provide the lunches, provide the facilities that parents do not have. As we mentioned, not everybody's got a computer in their home today. Not everybody's got the ability to do distance learning. Believe me, the boards that I have dealt with are very sensitive to the students' needs, and we at ACLJ have worked with them. We have the expertise to do that, and we will continue to do that in the future.
One of the things that we have discovered in our research is that school choice programs, including public charter schools, continue to educate poor and minority children very well. Yet, outrageously, public teachers' unions have successfully sought to shut down public charter school virtual learning. So what we have is an outrageous disparity that in terms of education that is getting worse and worse through remote learning and because schools are being shut down.
I talked a minute ago about the $68 billion that comes from the federal government, but Jay, about $23 billion of that is what is called Title I dollars, and one of the primary purposes of those dollars is supposed to support the needs of low-income students. I think it's time for the Congress to pass a piece of legislation. There's one that exists. It's called the A+ Act. It's put forward by Congressman Walker and Senator Daines that says a state can take those $23 billion and use it for purposes that is consistent with their state strategy to meet those needs.
What we're really talking about here is the ability to go in to school boards and present cohesive, coherent arguments for reallocation. We're not demanding that they reopen. We're not demanding on how they do it. What we will be seeking is accommodations to meet the needs of these students, and it's best done at the school board level.